tell you how I come up with this idea, because we're talking about a stage of your life that you don't want to be always in the audience. I'm not necessarily talking Welcome to a new episode of the Eva Eckert podcast, guys. In today's episode, I am going to be asking you a serious question. Are you the cheerleader of your own life? Are you the speaker of your own life? We're going to be diving deep into some deep questions, and I will tell you a story, exactly what just happened this past weekend and how we learned from it and how our life has changed through many, many years of being involved in personal development and really learning from others. So welcome to the show, guys. I am Eva Eckert. I am a Polish immigrant with a big heart, strong accent, kick-ass husband, and 2 beautiful kids. American entrepreneur sharing an incredible mission to inspire women and around the world to take bold action towards their dreams, passions, and desires, so finally their life become more meaningful and fulfilled. I believe that the badass superhero of your unique purpose is inside all of you, all of us, and we should share it with the world to make the world a better place. This show will help you finally discover the power of self-belief, self-discipline, so you can stop making excuses and create the fit, healthy, and fulfilled life you truly desire and deserve by being the upgraded version of you. Welcome to the show, guys. And as we always start, we're starting with the gratitude. So my gratitude for this episode will be the ability and the opportunities that we've had. The opportunities for us to actually go to Costa Messa, the most amazing event called Bedros Keuilian Live. If those of you are coming here for the first time and maybe never heard about this event, check it out. I'm sure there are information online about Bedros Keuilian Life. And why I wanted to talk to you about it is because at this event, Steve was speaking. My husband, Steve Eckert, was speaking on a stage, was one of the speakers. And we were along the other amazing speakers. And I'm going to list, I will try not to miss anybody. I have a list. And I wanted to show you how the journey took us to be behind the scenes, to have Steve on stage, and I was asked to speak on stage as well. And if you might be watching this show, or you might be listening to this show later, that I actually am already after the speaking engagement, because it's happening in September, you will probably be able to find out more about it. But just the journey that we've seen with ourselves, from putting ourselves out there, from working hard for really creating the disciplines and the systems of operations, and being always there, the way how we are, the way how we show up, not just doubting our abilities, not just always being like unhappy or maybe really depressed. We are coming always with the best energy and the best enthusiasm as a family. And I think now it's paying off, but also being truth and authentic, because you can't fake it. It will never work. So there are stages of your life, and at some moment you're going to be ready for something, and in some moments of your life, you're going to face something that you may be not ready for this. So again, I'm going to be taking you on a journey. But in the meantime, I want to point out these amazing speakers that were there at the Costa Messa event. Obviously, Bedros Keuilian, who was the organizer of the show, Hilton, a great MC, Bryce Henson, my husband, Steve Eckert, Branum Mike Rashid Kind, Jason Redman, Cavalini, Ballantyne, my former coach, amazing coach, 7-time Mr. Olympia, Phil Heath. I mean, we literally were talking behind the scene with Phil. What an incredible opportunity for us. Dean Stott, another incredible human. You would have to, there are such a long bios about these guys, and you literally would have to read their bios to understand that these humans are unusual. The things that they've done in their life, the lives that they saved is just incredible. Then Fleyshman, Byron Ovenstone, Jason Gerruggia, Shawn Stevenson, author, Nick Kumalatsos, if I'm not gonna mistake his mispronunciation of his last name, but amazing speakers. And this is just one thing. I mean, we met them, we were behind the scenes, but I want to also take you on a ride to show you that what we experience now, it's not obviously what we were 10 years or 15 years ago. You know, from my previous episodes, when I told you when we first open up our bootcamp and boxing locations. First, we open up one bootcamp location. Then we open up, we move to the different location, and then we open up another location. And through being involved in personal development, we kind of transition and transform ourselves and understand that we literally love coaching on a different level, not just the body coaching, but also the mindset coaching, because you can't train yourself just on the body if the mindset is not right? So today, I actually found some cool quotes of Napoleon Hill that represent all these different stages of our life. And I thought it's pretty cool. This whole idea came up to me when I was putting the notes for the shows, and I'm like, this is really cool representation. Right where we were doing this transition, right when things were happening, I thought I'm gonna read those to you. So, number 1, action is the real measure of intelligence. And how this applied to us? Well, when we had to struggle, the face struggle in the gym when we couldn't pay our bills and we were behind the rent, we decided that we're going to hire a coach. So it was pure action. And what's the worst thing is, I remember the coaching was like over $25,000. And we literally look at each other and we're like, we got to do this. So we didn't asking if, we just said, we got to do this. That was the action. And the action is what most people lack. The action is what's going to stop you to be on that stage. And the stage, guys, when you are a speaker, is just metaphor. And I'm going to tell you how I come up with this idea, because we're talking about a stage of your life that you don't want to be always in the audience. I'm not necessarily talking for you to have a goal to speak, because not everybody is meant to speaking on stage. We're talking about, and not everybody wants to. I mean, the number one fear through humans, for humans, is speaking on stage. And for me, for a long time, I don't know if it was a fear. I was always very, I would say, loving the language, and I wanted to learn more and more. So that's why I was reading a lot of books and I was diving in, but I knew that I'm going to make mistakes. But I kind of accepted the fact that I'm not the best, but I'm doing my best. Do you know what I'm saying? Accepting that you're not perfect. Accepting that you have a long way to go is the key. And action is going to propel you for more. So we took action. We hired a coach. And actually, our first coach was Bedros Keuilian. He was our first coach. So gratitude today also on this show for the fact that we were able to grow as humans and grow with him. So we ended up always within his circle, within his proximity of other people, and being able to be invited to such a show. when I think it was over 600 or 700 people, guys. So this was a big event. Mostly men. There was a majority of men. And I love feeling the testosterone pumping through the energy. It's great to be in actually within groups of men, because men operate a little bit different than women. I think it's just great to see that the men take the initiative and go to conferences like this. They support each other. There's an amazing brotherhood and manhood. So another point, guys, listen to this. Knowledge is only potential power. It becomes power only when and if it is organized into definite plans of action and directed to definite end. That's what Napoleon Hill said. How do you understand this even? Well, we created systems of operations, hired people, hired assistant, hired coaches, and applied everything that we have learned. The implementation was so on point that after each time Steve would come back from mastermind, there was bam, immediate implementation. That was not waiting. And out of this implementation, you create your new own systems that are unique to you. Because here is the thing, you start working on these things, and more you work on these things, the uniqueness of you, it shows up in very unique ways. So remember that. If two people would be working on the same project and would have, I don't know, the same materials, think about it. Two different artwork would be created, because that's how we work, and that's the beauty of it. So if you don't try, you might miss out on these amazing opportunities. Number 3, you become what you think about. This is such a famous quote of Napoleon Hill. We became voted America's top trainer in studio. We took the charge. We wanted to win. We did everything to become that number 1 voted America's top trainer in studio. And I'm super proud of this, because out of 2,000 people, we got it voted America's top trainer. So guys, for those of you who need some advice on how to stay fit and healthy, you gotta DM me. You gotta make a comment. You gotta share this information. Find me on Instagram. I mean, all this information is below my information about the podcast. And if you were watching on YouTube, you can find this. I give out courses, PDFs for free constantly. Just reach out. Don't be the person that don't ask for help. Be the person that asks, because those who don't ask usually ended up not having the life that they want and deserve. So don't be afraid to ask. You need to reach out. And I'm going to teach you with these sessions, with these episodes, with my ideas, that you cannot be the person that hides. You need to show up. To be a star, you must shine your own light. Follow your own path. And don't worry about darkness, for that is when the stars shine brightest. That's what Napoleon Hill said. And we had more reviews than all of the gyms combined in New York. I mean, understand the power. All the gyms that we had in New York, in Rockland County, together, they didn't have the same reviews that we had. Because we wanted to be the number 1. It was within our veins, our blood. Our members were living the life of the gym. Whenever they would go, they would always talk about the peak. The community was such an extension in real life that they created a web, and people always knew about us. So people would want to come. That's how peak was. Whatever your mind can conceive and believe, it can achieve. Another famous quote of Napoleon Hill. We always wanted to speak on stages, I would say. Deep inside of us, it wasn't something that this is like a prime, for me, like a main thing. But I thought that when you are a coach, when you have your podcast, when you're going to meet people, it's going to be a natural thing for you to be asked to speak on stages, to speak on different events, because you want to share your knowledge. And that's what I want to dive a little bit deeper on as we go with the show. Because think about it. If you are always in the audience, you come to these events, and let's use overall the stage as a metaphor for life, right? If you are always in the audience, you kind of not living the life you're supposed, but it has to be a stage process, meaning you have to go through the stages. Very rarely somebody will jump just on a stage. Very rarely an actor becomes so famous just like this. Sometimes these things happen, but you usually need to go through the process, right? And even this famous EMCEE Pat that was on a stage with us and was announcing the speakers, he told me a story too. He had a struggle as well. And this is beautiful to hear from such a famous person, how they dealt with the struggle as well. They were playing in bars and doing these little gigs until one viral video with Grant Cardone on 10X caused them to become so famous. So your time is coming, but you need to put on work. You need to obviously be in the audience, but this time is limited for you. What I wanted to tell you, you need to limit your time for this. You can't be just always in the audience, because otherwise you're not playing the main role of the main actor on stage. You need to take notes. You need to observe. You need to have a laser beam focus on what's being told. You need to learn from these speakers. So implementation from the back rows, you're going to start slowly going to the front rows. Eventually, you're going to start sitting up front. And that's what happened to us. We used to sit on the back. We didn't buy the expensive seats. As the time progressed, we would buy the most expensive seats. Then we would be sitting up front, literally in the first row. And now we are on stage. And again, this is a metaphor. I'm not talking about you speaking on stage. I'm talking about understanding that you need to shift your energy. And what I mean by shifting your energy, when you shift your energy and you're going to start working at a high level as an entrepreneur, as a leader, you're going to create the energy. So you're going to become the main actor on this stage. So you can hire people. So you can be the center of the attention. So you can actually observe and lead people. That's what you need to shift the energy. You need to understand that it's up to you to go there. It's up to you to be the cheerleader of your life. Because what if all your life you're going to be cheering others? And I hear this all the time. I see people all the time cheering others, and they always in the back. They don't take ownership. That means that they always will be in the audience instead of cheering themselves, instead of being the cheerleader of your own life. So are you the cheerleader of your own life? Are you the one that's clapping? Are you the one that is the bright star? Are you the one that believes in its own energy? Because if you don't, no one will ever do it for you. Understand this, that you need to take the ownership. And when you shift the ownership, meaning from other speakers to you being the speaker, you can only preach what you have done. You can't fake it. And that's what I was telling you about, that you can't be on a stage and fake it. Those who fake it, they never make it. You need to be real. You need to show your work, what you have accomplished so far. Now, shift your position from receiving to giving, because think about it. Audience, you're receiving. You're sitting, you're receiving the information. Then when you are on stage, you got to understand what the audience needs. What do they need from me? How can I show them what I learned to give them? So there's no more hiding. The light is on you. You are on stage. Spotlight on your body. How does it feel? Right? You have to perform at your best. Right there on that stage and right there in your life. Shift your small thinking, guys. Because when you are an audience, sometimes you come home after the event and you are like, what am I going to start? You're still thinking small instead of implementing everything, taking action, not just notes, and going with the imperfect action. Just go with it. Just do anything that will give you some results. but you need to go for it. And also understanding that if others done it, I can do it too. So shifting away from the small thinking to the big thinking. Wow, I can do it. I am unique. I can create something very unique because I am on the stage. And this, remember, the stage is your left. Shift your excuses, guys. Because if you're in the audience a lot of times, you allow excuses. When you go on that stage, when you take the front seat, there is no excuses. You have to be prepared for the show. You have to show up and really be the star. You have to show up, be the light. You have to teach people. And there's no such an excuses that you're not going to show up, right? You have to show up. So you need to become disciplined, more energetic, have more confidence. Shifting your ego. Because think about it. Just because you achieved something and you out on the stage doesn't mean that you know it better. Doesn't mean that you know it all. Your obligation is now to take them on a ride and show them the way. Sometimes it's very hard for us because some people are on that stage and they might think they are better than others, but we are all equal. It's just what they did, they took action. They took action on everything that was. They become successful by action. You can't become successful by no action. There's just the bottom line of everything. Shift your perspective. You can see everyone from the stage. Like, think about it. When you are in the audience, you see that one person on the stage, right? If there is a one person, one speaker. But when you, and on top of the stage, when you are the center of attention, the perspective changes. You start seeing more. You start seeing different people. You start seeing other leaders. You start seeing other people that can actually help you or serve you or connect with you. Like, the perspective changes. You can see who is present, who is not, who is on the phone, who is texting, who is writing. You can see a different energy from people and take the energy. And the last one, you must concentrate on many, not just on yourself. And that's what it is. It's like not only on yourself, but you have to concentrate obviously on your performance, but you need to also concentrate on others. So if you are the leader, you need to know that you need to develop your team. And think about it. There is a lot of lessons here. And look, when I remember through all these years when we would go to these events, the family would always come with us. The kids would always come with us. And this should be literally a separate episode of me, how I figure out to bring my kids with me. That will be a separate episode. But just the fact that we have that lifestyle, that we can do it, we can help you with create the lifestyle that you want. Remember, the business have to be created towards the lifestyle that you want. And with this said, guys, I just wanted to impact you again in saying that you need to take voice in your life. You need to take all these shifts of these energies and shifting your perspective and everything else that I told you about. You need to be eager and be ready. You have to stop overthinking your every action. You just need to go for it. And if you know my story from the beginning, that was sharing, and I always share more details, you understand that by me doing these things, I build my confidence. I'm showing up. Look, probably doing these podcasts in the beginning are different than now. Sometimes my energy can be different. There are a lot of different factors always being involved in this, but I try to do my best. And that's what you can do. And you need to stop being afraid, because if I, the immigrant from Poland, did it, you can do it too. So guys, with this said, I want to thank you so much for watching this episode. Thank you so much for listening to this episode. And look, I would always love to hear from you. So the best way to support me and help me grow is to leave a review on Apple Podcast or Spotify Podcast. This helps my ratings and entices people to watch more episodes. So please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. And remember, the superhero is within you. May your discipline, energy, and confidence be unstoppable. May your enthusiasm and passion, curiosity be endless. May your inner glow show through the projects and creations, and may your final outcome be of service to others. Each of us makes the difference in the universe. I make mine, and the universe is awaiting you. Guys, thank you so much. Again, no excuses.